Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. You can see the background in this video is different. I am at the shop. We actually created kind of a studio. Up to this point, it's been Zach's little mess back here, art studio. But we got a brand new computer. I wanted to show everyone that in a Gone Rogue episode, as well as a different special video that's coming out. We've been working on it all day. I wanted to try to get it out today. Not going to happen. And then this gem came out, which is the addendum to April 24th, 2017 banned and restricted announcement. This is new. This is news. This has never happened before. I don't think so. Like an emergency addendum to something that had already been announced. So kind of crazy, which is the Felidar Guardian is now banned in Standard. And what this shows is Wizards caves to pressure. That's basically the story of this, is that if any of you follow a lot of the Wizards, their main account, or right here, if you click on this button here, it will take you to Aaron Forsyth, which I think is MTG Aaron, or Mark Rosewater. I think that's the biggest thing that hit this, was the embarrassment of Mark Rosewater's blog yesterday, where someone asked a legitimate question about, well, what should we do? I mean, shouldn't we have higher expectations for game designers to actually create an environment to where we can play a format, not just get completely... I mean, because now, apparently the person that had the post to Mark Rosewater basically said, I've been playing since Collected Company, and ever since the Collected Company, there's been the Standard, from what I've heard from other players who have played in the past, Standard has pretty much been... a two-deck Standard, or it's just been really dominated by one strategy. What can we expect in the future? What are you doing to address that? And basically Mark Rosewater responded back with, it's hard being a game designer. And that was basically the entire post, and it got a ton of negative response, even to the point where pro players were tweeting back, and I apologize for not being prepared with finding any of those. But anyway, it was, if you just go back to Twitter the past 2 days, or Reddit the past 2 days, since the banning, there has been a lot of negativity being thrown at Wizards, especially too even on the WPN. Since we own a store, we have access to like their Facebook, where only people that are members stores, and there's been a lot of talk there as well about Standard being incredibly low. The attendance rate of Standard has just been... That's one of the reasons why the format's so cheap. Is there are just a lot of people changing decks or even brewing in decks, and it's killed the entire hype of Standard. And so when Felidar Guardian wasn't banned, a lot of us were disappointed. In fact, I had a Market Monday video ready to go, ready to shoot, about what decks I think are going to be playable with Felidar Guardian out of the format, and woke up and saw that it was not banned, and basically just scrapped it. And I've kind of been in kind of a meh in the last few days. I decided not to do Market Monday just because I just didn't have another alternative thing to talk about. I've also been working on some other videos, but I think I'll do that for this Monday. You can look forward to that. I'm going to try to kind of scour the data and see what decks open up without Felidar Guardian. Now, I'm going to refer you back to my cards that I think should be banned, or the Amonkhet ban list discussion video, to really get my whole opinion on the Felidar Guardian. I think that this is the one that absolutely had to be banned. I would have liked to see Gideon banned, because Gideon just crowds the space of other cards. Like, why would you ever play another 4-drop in a number of different colors when Gideon exists? And I just think it's just too powerful for the Standard environment at the moment, with not many answers against Planeswalkers. Now, there is one that did get printed, the Never Return, that will be decent. Probably is just a strict upgrade to Ruinous Path. So we do have that going for us. And we have a lot of efficient burn spells, or just removal to at least crush into Gideon. But with Heart of Kren still in the format, it could definitely be a problem with Gideon. However, I've always stood by the fact that Gideon was beatable, whereas Felidar Guardian was not beatable. And you can see that coming out. Just watch I believe it comes out tomorrow, my Rogue's Alley, where I played a new deck, a spoiler, white-red humans. And the only match I lost all night, I went 7-1 with the deck, and the only matchup I lost was the Saheeli combo, and it wasn't even close. It just stomped me, and it was just because the Felidar Guardian being able to even flicker enchantments, being able to flicker the worst. The worst moment was where I took care of the first Saheeli combo. So he goes Felidar off, or Saheeli off of Felidar already out, and shucked it. shock the Saheeli, and then 2 turns down the road, he casts a Chandra the next turn, and then the following turn casts another Saheeli, and I once again shock it, and then he pluses his Chandra and taps his last remaining mana and casts the 3rd Saheeli. I mean, yeah, it was kind of a bonkers draw, but how many times do you have to kill so many things? I mean, the 1/4 Felidar Guardian piece is just really, really resilient to removal. I think it's the same problem with Splinter Twin in Modern, with the Deceiver Exarch just being the 1/4 is really, really good. And I'm with them. I don't think that any of their answers from the Amonkhet is, I mean, people talk about the curse that whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it loses a life, so that effectively will kill your opponent if they try to go off. A lot of other answers, supposed answers, are not going to be effective enough, just because brewers like myself and other people have tried and tried and tried. And if you go down that game of trying to shut down the combo, you eventually just get beat down by the Thopter tokens and other things. So anyway, just refer back to that video. But I guess with this whole discussion here is just, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, or it's kind of sad that it takes this much pressure for Wizards to cave. And that is just their, I would say that is their company policy in a nutshell. It seems like they operate on pressure. And I can show you so many instances of this, if even going back to some of the really controversial issues like the Zach Jesse issue, even further back than that. Crackgate, a lot of, yeah, all those type of things. It was really Wizards stepped in after when they get so much pressure from their base that they just ultimately cave. And in this case, it ends up being a good thing. But going forward, I don't know if that necessarily is the best thing, because I think it's in a game designer's best interest to have the game first and never really cave to what people want. I mean, sometimes there needs to be a vision beyond just the social pressure. Yes, you want people to play the game, but it's almost like daddy knows best as far as like rearing kids, for example. Your kids, if all your kids are outraged and they want to do this, sometimes the adult has to step in and put the foot down and say, no, this is the right direction for your life, or in this case, for the game. So that's basically where I stand with this, even though that I do believe that this should have happened, and better late than never, because I guarantee it. I almost wish, though, that we did have a Pro Tour just dominated by the Felidar Guardian combo, so I could just say I told you so, and then we could all just have a fun time pointing and laughing at Wizards. But this will give the pros some opportunity to brew in the new format without the combo. It should open it up to control. Now the Dynavolt Tower decks look pretty good. The card that I think is extremely good right now is Weaver of Lightning and Liliana. So both of those decks I think are going to see a lot more play, because we might see the Mardu decks go more aggressive again, going back to the more of the pilot version of it, running especially the 3/1s. And now that Scrappy Scrounger is about as doesn't have any more resilience than a normal card, just with like Magma Spray and those type of cards in the format. So we might see it kind of go more aggressive, which is bad news for my latest brew. But then that leads it open for these like heavy control-based decks, like the Dynavolt Tower decks and the Turntle Gearhulk decks, which then allows maybe for some mid-range type decks to come in that have more value to kind of compete back with those. And I think it should just really wide up. Or open up the format. The only problem is I still do think that Gideon is just going to be the go-to deck, and we're going to see a top 8 again dominated by Gideon. And that's my biggest prediction about the Pro Tour. But it's beatable. Those type of decks are usually beatable and can be adjusted. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting cards, a lot of interesting Ishkanah again looks good. All of those. Ishkanah really shines in a format where you can't get comboed out. So if you just need to stabilize versus an aggressive or mid-range deck, Ishkanah is still a good go-to card. And I think what was really keeping back that card was the Saheeli combo. So we can see those type of decks going forward. Again, this isn't going to be geared towards Market Monday, but I'd like to hear your comments in the comment section. I guess I should, if you just read over this article, they do talk about how try to justify it here, but the whole main reason why they Emergency Bandit is a yes, since if anyone's been playing the 2-man queues, and I bet they do monitor those as well as the leagues, it has just been infested with Saheeli combo, and it's insanely good with Glorybringer now. It just added a huge aggressive element to the deck. And B, the pressure was just so much. How much hate Wizards was getting over the past few days. And Marrow's response was just inadequate, and it just outraged people even more. I don't know why they keep using him as a talking piece. But anyway, good news, good news. Too bad the ape wasn't on this emergency announcement as well. But let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to get back to actually producing higher content videos. We have one in the making, which is going to take a lot of hours to edit, so just bear with me. And we actually have a schedule. If you actually look at my info on my YouTube page, I'm trying to put down a schedule for when I'm going to release videos, and I want to do one a day. And sometimes we'll have more than one a day, give or take. But we do have a lot of things coming up in the near future that are going to be very time consuming. And again, just bear with me until we get everything organized. Anyway, this has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.